Now, in the last decades, there's been a notable rise in sexual harassment of females, especially in terrestrial institutions characterized principally by the demand for sex grades. Currently, social media is agog concerning BBC News reporters who have gone undercover investigating prestigious West African universities and seen how lecturers have been demanding sex from female students. I am a ladies jumping on the conversation. This morning we're talking about sex for grades. Do well to drop your comments to be part of this conversation, as we want to know and hear from you if you've had an experience with a lecturer and what you feel can be done about this. Ladies?
Hi, darling.
Yes, I know we're ready for this. So, we woke up this morning, we went on Twitter, and we saw the conversation trending, hashtag sex for grades. And we know this is a thing. In as much as people would say, I have not experienced it, doesn't mean that it doesn't happen to people. And so, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? I feel like a lot of things are unnecessarily staying in the society. So do you feel like the sex for grade phenomenon is here to stay, or is something that needs to be dealt with as soon as possible?
I think it's something that needs to be dealt with. A lot of people are experiencing this irregular. It's a regular thing that's become so regular that it is normal for people to go through the higher institutions and they are sexually harassed by lecturers. So has it come to stay? I think it's something that should be dealt with and taken really seriously. And I'm happy that there's so much evidence to, put out for us. Then it should just be the students' words against ours. But now the evidence, and it should be trashed. These things are happening in our society in Nigeria that we just pass it. Like, it's not normal. So we should deal with it.
Joyce, I was going to say that if BBC Africa did not cover this, did you think a conventional Nigerian broadcasting house would have delved into this kind of issue?
Well, there's so much involved for reporters to go undercover. First of all, journalism funding is a problem in Nigeria. While I watched the documentary, or there's a part of it that has been released, I saw that they were undercover for 9 months in 2 different countries. That costs a lot of money.
True.
And also you have to be able to provide protection for journalists. And even some international organizations cannot entirely, completely protect the journalists. We're still talking about the Khashoggi case. Khashoggi was killed and dismembered and his body was stuffed into a suitcase. He was a journalist of international repute. So thinking about regular, smaller bodies being able to go undercover like this, they face a lot of problems, from funding to actually being able to protect their journalists. So I can't really look at them and say that you're doing a bad job, because I do know what is involved.
Now, we've seen a lot of evidences, videos of flying clips, and we're hearing that the full documentary will be out by 6 p.m. on YouTube. Do you feel like this matter will be swept? Because we've seen cases where people come out and talk, people come out and do investigations about trending issues as this affecting the society, and at the end of the day, little or nothing is done about it, especially from the government. So are we saying right now that this will be swept, or rather it will gain so much attention that it will be attended to?
I feel like some people will be deterred, but most likely a lot of people will walk away scot-free. The most that they could have is probably like a severance package for them to leave the university because of embarrassment, not really because somebody's worried and somebody cares. We're so into abuse of power. Look, all through your life, you have watched people abuse the very small little power that they have, from SS3 students terrorizing people in junior secondary, to head of choir master, because he's angry at you, can ban you from choir for 1 month. You cannot even start talking about the kind of things that happen. You see somebody that he's a junior lecturer, like the both of you have degree. He does not even have masters, but because he's a lecturer assistant, he feels like he has the power and he must trample on you. So abuse of power, it has eaten so deep into Nigerians that we are so much more worried about tarnishing our image than doing good things. While this whole conversation around sex for grades was going around, somebody's child that somebody carried for 9 months said that he can see that some lecturers will have their images tarnished. While in that documentary, one of the victims said she has tried to kill herself 4 times. That was not his problem. His problem was that
The
a
lecturer-
predator that has been raping girls for decades might just maybe have his
tarnished.
career image tarnished.
He's part of the people that is doing his, of course, that's what it means.
You cannot. First of all, I would say that the problem really is that this has come out. I am just hoping and praying that something is actually done about it, because I remember there was a time we actually had one video come out from a student and a lecturer where she really did embarrass the lecturer.
Was that not in
and all
Ekpoma?
that.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
in Ekpoma, and you know they did everything and all that, and like you said, it was just a slap on the back. They probably I think he was suspended for a couple of months, and then he was brought back. So we have seen
Waiting till the issue dies down.
So we have seen this kind of issues come up over and over and over again over time, and then nothing is done about it. I think we need to be deliberate in this country and actually step out and do things. And I'm happy that people are speaking up and trying to put it out there that it's not that we don't know these things are happening. I'm really impressed, because when I was watching the documentary, one of the things that the BBC reporter said is that many allegations have been passed, but they had to come out and investigate so they can have actual proofs. I mean, I was pained by what I saw. You know, the guy, you know, you just automatically see a girl walk into your office and all you were thinking about is how you can get into her pants. It's crazy.
All right, so let's take some couple of comments that we have.
Okay, we just have one from Bella, Queen Bella. She says, "Good morning, ladies. Nakimoyo, I love your new hair. It's beautiful."
Thank you
you,
so
Bella.
much. So still back to the conversation, guys. Have you ever, in any way, experienced sexual harassment, maybe from your lecturers or from just being that this is the angle of our conversation? Have you ever had such?
No, for me, I have never experienced it, thankfully, and I thank God every day for it. And you know, I was of the notion that I protected myself for it. You know, that was the thought that I had, the thought pattern I had for years until I saw more things that showed that you cannot protect yourself from it. You know, I was a student that I always came before the lecturer came. I didn't sit in the front or the back. I sat in the middle. I never asked any questions. If I missed submission of an assignment, I move on. I don't go and beg the lecturer that this. My course advisor only knew me in my final year after my results came out. And you know, I always thought that, you know, you were really protecting yourself, but it is absolutely nonsense, because why would a student be so terrified of speaking to their lecturer? Your lecturer is your teacher. If you're having a problem with a course, you should be able to go and speak to your teacher. If for any reason you want to get a deeper understanding of a conversation you had in class, you should not be terrified of going to see your teacher. That is their job, for crying out loud. So the very thought that I had to exempt myself from getting a proper education because I was terrified that maybe somebody would try to sexually harass me is absolute nonsense. And I had students, there's so many women that could not protect themselves. There were stories of people going for their clearance, and then the clearance officer is saying, how are you, baby girl? You look nice, lock the door. Or, do you understand? Like, there's several people that have just walked past and they're like, who
give birth to
who
you
did
like
that
3
girl?
times.
You know, people are saying things like, you have to hide yourself. Don't come late to class. Don't wear tight things to the lecturer office. You better shut up your mouth. Because the fact of the case still remains that is your teacher and you have every right. That is why offices have visiting hours.
And that is the truth is, even about the dressing point you raised, there's nothing you would wear and conceal yourself that a man will not see what he wants to see, because they are moved by what they see.
And there's schools that have dress codes.
Yes.
And I am aligning by the dress code, and you're telling me that what? There are lots of schools, lots of tertiary institutions in Nigeria that have dress codes. Almost all private universities do, and a couple of government universities also have dress codes. So you cannot wake up and tell me that, oh, because the way you look, that is called victim blaming. And if you're doing that, then you should be really worried that you think that way.
Adriel.
In terms of experience, I have had a bit. I've not had, you know, outright harassment, but I have had messages being sent to me. Like, for example, I know I had to go and see lecturer once. I had a couple of issues, and I needed to sort out a particular result. And then I told him, hey, I need your help, sir. I just need you to sign something for me so that, you know, I can get to the next point in this. And then he told me, what am I willing to give for it? And I knew from what he said, he wasn't outrightly asking me for money, because he would have just said, you need to pay for it. you know, bring this and this amount because that happens in the institution. But no, he was actually asking me for something else. And he knew I was in a desperate place. So he felt, and though I just walked away and left. That's not just all. I had a situation where I had a lecturer touch my chest, and then I was like, it felt like it didn't happen, but it happened.
Okay, like this kind of things that used to happen in a flash. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
it happened so fast
to me
that
right now.
it happened so fast that I was like, did that just happen, or was I thinking it? Did he not touch me? Did he not, you know? And then I was like, okay. And then I like she said, I did the whole avoiding thing. I never went back to the lecturer's office, irrespective of how much I knew I needed help from that person. I never went back to him. I never went back to help him. And there are people who it did not stop there for them. We have friends, we had classmates that it didn't stop there for them. They were actually harassed. I walked out, I left, and I probably had to start a whole new process altogether. But, you know, there are many people out there who are actually going through this, and it is not funny. I mean, that girl who said she wants to kill herself, you do not know the things that is going through her mind. When you begin to reach out to these men and when you ask these men questions, they don't see anything wrong with it. If you pick one of those lecturers and actually ask them why they indulge in these things, they think it's their right. For God's sake, you have a daughter, you have a wife, you have somebody, you have a sister who probably can go through that, and it will be traumatizing. I think for me, it's a psychological trauma these things do to people. I mean, someone who is old enough to be with your father is asking you for sex. You came to school to go to school, not to be harassed. And like Joyce said, you should feel free. You should be happy to walk into your lecturer's office and ask for help. I went to the university feeling like I had to avoid every male lecturer.
I avoided every kind of lecturer. I never entered any lecturer's office until I was doing my project. When you literally had to go to your supervisor's office, that or you fail, so you have to go. That was the first time I stepped into a lecturer's office when I was in my final year, my project. And there are a lot of women like myself that never went to the lecturer's office to their final year and to the project supervisor, and then the project supervisor became the predator.
I never went. I literally made sure that if I was going to my project supervisor's office, I was always going with my project mates, like 2 or 3. My project supervisor was a nice person in code, but I still had that
at the back of your mind.
Yes, there was
I bought new outfits. I had this really big scarf that I bought that I had to wrap around myself, and then they assumed that I was a Muslim. Like whenever I was going to the block where the lecturers were staying, I would have this really big scarf that I would wrap around somebody called me Hajia one day, and then we all laughed and I walked away.
Guys, did you feel like this whole thing is making it feel like women don't have a place in the society? It's making it feel like women do not have a say. Or like you finish from the university, you face the same thing in the workplace. You leave the workplace, you go home, probably you have an abusive husband, you face the same thing. In your family, your words are not heard till you die. Is it like it's a circle thing? It's a circle thing, because I've noticed that a lot of times we're talking on the breakfast show, we're always talking about something that has to involve with the woman, and it's also making her feel like she's at the disadvantaged side.
It's so dangerous being a woman